Welcome back to another podcast of Latin Chamber of Commerce Leaders in Action. And today we had a great guest and our co-host, our Director of Programs of the Latin Chamber of Commerce, Maite Salazar.
Well, we're really excited. My name is Maite Salazar. I'm program director for the LCC Leaders Program for the Latin Chamber of Commerce. This is a brand new program that started this year, and it includes a business accelerator training program, leadership training, mentorship, and of course, podcasts, because we want to highlight our special graduates. Today with us, we have a very special graduate, Doug Puppel. So we want to welcome him today. Welcome, Doug.
Well, thanks, Maite. Sure, but always get a warm welcome here at the chamber, and it was a great class that we get to talk about, but I want to mention that first. I'm a writer. I model. I like to say I help people. The Leaders Program helped me understand that my experiences and skills could be woven into a micro communication company that's, when I started, freelance writer sounded pretty good. Now I pay a machine $20 a month, and it writes all the stuff I want. So it's been an interesting trip. I think part of that started when I got a journalism degree from Northwestern in the early 1980s. Ever since then, the communication industry has been evolving, which we all know means lower and lower head counts. And I was blessed to spend many years in newspapers, including 10 years at the RJ, starting in 1988. And today I still contribute to Engineering News Record and write an entertainment column. But to say the work in that field is steady is probably overstating. So I've done a lot of other things I can tell you about as well.
All impressive, Northwestern.
We need to know more about it because we know your background. But Doug, now when you are on as an entrepreneur, in your whole life, and you know better than anybody, you had a good career, and you still have a good career. How how you find those challenges? How challenge your career, your moves, and how you overcome? We need to know because people sometimes get stuck in their careers or in their business, and they don't know how to move forward or to the next level.
Well, asking people to clear out their desk isn't much fun. I've had to do that, and I've been asked to clear out my desk. And like I said, the journalism degree is great, helps me focus thoughts and writing, but it's certainly not a degree that's in high demand today. So I've been nimble, and every adversity has, at least in my heart, been an opportunity to come back and learn something new. I became a dad pretty late in life. My girls are 24 and 21, still live at home. So every day I feel like no matter what happens outside of that house, I'm setting an example. And that's why I like the LCC, because it's family oriented. The businesses you see are family oriented. And I don't know where my story is going to end, but I know that my daughter's going to say, my dad got up every day and worked really hard to get ahead.
Wow.
Well, yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Doug. I mean, we welcome you into our family for sure, into the Latin Chamber family. But what makes your business unique? Like, what makes you unique, and I kind of know, but I would like you to share what makes you unique.
Okay. I've been in Las Vegas a long time, and I got here in 1988, just prior to the Mirage opening. I was in newspapers then, and back then the Review Journal and the Sun were two separate organizations, different printing facilities. They each had two editions.
Yeah, one on the Henderson was the Vegas Sun, and if you and still
Went downtown. Yeah, and it was fun. I lived in Cleveland. It got cold in Cleveland. I said I'd looking for someplace warmer than the Midwest, and believe me, I succeeded in that, and I've succeeded in a lot of things. Las Vegas is a very welcoming place.
Yes.
It's a city that people know, but they don't really know. And I found it fascinating, and it's been a real privilege to meet so many people and to tell their stories.
We like to say that it's like a old boys town. So it's it and in some degree it's huge city now, but it still is the few you want to know and you connect across the valley.
You can meet anybody you need to meet in Nevada. I think that's one of the great things about our state. And you can be anybody who you want to be. Everybody comes here for reinvention. And of course, it's a great city because it's the city where I live, and everybody likes it here because they're mostly here by choice. And because it's such a new city, it needs people, not credentials. So if you have a desire and a willingness to work, you can do anything. I became a model when I was 60 years old because my friend who is a model and an artist encouraged me to do it. My daughter heard about it, and instead of, I was ready to laugh it off, and she goes, "What are you going to do?" Right? And so she saw her dad get up, and I know the LCC is full of people like that, and that the leaders program, right? There were 40 people on that Zoom call every Tuesday night that would do the same thing, and it's just inspiring. And like I said, I don't know where this is going to end, but I know I'm going to pull with both arms as hard as I can and go as far as I can.
So with the Leaders Program, how did you even hear about the program? What motivated you?
Yeah, that is motivate you to join the two people who talk about because you are journalists. So it's what is a journalist thing?
The breakfasts that you have at the Boulevard Mall are can't miss networking opportunities. And this is back before I really knew Maite, but somebody who would get up and promote the class and talk about it with such passion was something I wanted to learn more about and someone I wanted to know better. And right, I had worked at UNLV for a year and the contract expired, and my next move really wasn't apparent to me. That's when I was getting into modeling, but saying I'm a model doesn't mean that it pays the bills. I mean, it's great. I've worked on the Super Bowl, and I've been Carrie Underwood Sunday Night Football. You could see me.
Yeah.
Well, she was on the air more than I was, but you could see me in there. But pay attention. I can't think if I could have done that kind of reinvention in any other community, and the LCC is a great asset in doing that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. And we know you and the history you had with Las Vegas, and we know stories about. And why you tell us one of those stories around all Las Vegas?
Sure.
And you know many.
My favorite story was the Desert Inn was remodeled before it made way for the win, and they spent a lot of money on it, but because the room sizes were too small for today's market, nobody really wanted as much as they put into the landscaping and everything. But it was sort of a passing of the torch with the old guard, because I remember when I was at the Review Journal, I was business editor, and they had a VIP, a grand opening event, and there was like people that I grew up watching on TV as a kid, and I can't think of his name, the actor that played Mannix, Joe,
Oh yeah, I know you said those. Yes.
but he had hearing aids like the size of earmuffs. I mean, he still looked pretty good. And there was Robert Goulet walking around, and it just felt like, wow, here is this, kid from Cleveland, and you're out hanging in the Desert Inn, looking at people who you had only seen on TV or in the movies, and that was, and I've met a lot of the elected officials, federal, local, right, to see people who. I've worked in politics, and there's a lot of misnomers, but I mean, there's a lot of nonsense in politics, but there's an awful lot of good people. Yeah, right. Especially in a new state like ours, and that really just, I think it energizes me, and it certainly energizes the people that I meet at the chamber and in leaders.
That's certainly an advantage to journalists. They get to see people that other people don't get to see, and you get to see them up close sometimes as a journalist. So,
Yes.
And ask questions.
yeah, and get to ask some questions. That's
I think the one thing you'll find as you do more of these podcasts is the person in this seat, right? Even if somebody who's done a lot of things in front of a microphone, they're going to come in with an open heart,
Yeah.
right? And you're going to be able to make connections.
Yes.
And that's what this is about. It's not, we need to get a new laptop in here or this and that. It's, here's somebody else telling us these real stories.
Yep.
And we're going to go walking out, even more team LCC. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talking about LCC and the Leaders Program, what was your big takeaway? What was your aha moment during the program?
That my skills and experiences, the connections that I have here in Las Vegas, right, could kind of be woven together to create this micro media company built around something of a, I hate this, my lips personal brand, right? All the things that I know, not really me, right? I used to like to skulk around in the shadows, right? You work in politics in the union, you're not liking to be in front, but today's a different world and I'm on a different path.
Mm-hmm.
And the Leaders Program through the DISC assessment, it gave me a lot of things that I could point to, and it gave me a lot of things I can point to as let's do better, either, change my skill sets or find people who can assist me in the areas where my skill sets could be better. And so you got that, more data-driven approach, but then being in those breakouts with the other class people, and nobody really knew what are we supposed to do, what are we supposed to say, here's a stranger, right? And the topics would generate some real, like I say, open-hearted conversations, and it led me to think maybe I've got more to offer than I saw, because when good people like you want to hear my story, it's well, maybe my story is better than I think it is.
That's right.
In because you have the experience, and especially you have the degrees in journalism, and Las Vegas, all experience you have in Las Vegas. We're proud to have you in our leaders, Latin Chamber of Commerce leaders in action. When you see the mentors, you see your co-students, when you see your classes,
Right.
What is the best that impact you professional, personal level? What class or what mentor you feel like, wow? Because I believe in you. Every single to me, COVID in the past, I used to say before Christ and after Christ. Today's I say before COVID and after COVID, because COVID changed everything. Now it's digital, everything by Zoom. The personal interaction is not there anymore. Yes, old timers like me, I prefer that. So, what impacts you best?
Wow, that is the topic that I feel I came out most strengthened. All of the coaches from Assured Strategies were great. I know how hard they work behind the scenes, that the other students would be reaching out to them, and then they prepared, and then this being the inaugural class, they learned as they went, and I thought all of that. I mean, it was, the show was part of, at least for me, the learning that came with it. As a particular lesson, where Ted Savarata, the coach,
Sarvada.
excuse me, Ted Sarvata talked about being more self-aware, and I found that I work by myself largely, deal with people through emails. You could use some of the same filters in looking at how people communicate, right? And made me feel that, hey, they're just products of the organizations that they're in, right? They don't have the luxury or to be, right. They are a reflection of what they're about, and so I can interpret a little bit better even though I don't get what you were talking about, that body language read on people, because I miss it. Yeah, and Mate's heard me apologize. I work at home, and sometimes when you get among people, you end up babbling like somebody just gotten rescued off the desert island, because my dogs, they're not good conversationalists, but so I appreciate the chance to talk today.
Yeah.
No, well, we appreciate you, Doug. We're very lucky and fortunate to have had you in our program, and you've been one of our testimonials. You've been recruiting for our program, so we're very grateful to you. And with this program, what do you think? How do you see it shaping your future? What are you going to do differently after the program?
I'm going on my way to a meeting with a great new connection of mine. Her name is Carla Lopez. She is new to Las Vegas,
Okay.
but what came out of the Leaders program was that I should be broader in my outreach to our community, and connecting people and connect with people who have an appreciation for the broader community. And she has agreed to assist me in that effort. We're going to become writing collaborators. She's a wonderful stylist. She knows the salons and the modeling, and I have my Neon Diary entertainment and lifestyle column, and we're looking to develop a Spanish language version. And she's also looking to grow a business here in town, and someone who doesn't have connections being with somebody who does have connections. And then I know Marteus had the privilege of meeting her, and I will tell you that she will probably be one of your future students, because she just has heard a lot about the program. And she lives very far south, Blue Diamond South.
California. That's California. Guess what?
Really disconnected. That young community, because it's so hard. There's so much construction.
Oh yes.
Right? She was going to be at the traffic light, and it was a great event. Mate was there, but she couldn't. She said, "No, Doug, I don't know the town well enough. Too much construction. Everything's wet."
And it was
Right.
raining, so
But she found the LCC like I did, and she is so energized to be part of it. And we would have never connected had it not been for LCC, had it not been for the Leaders in Action.
Perfect. In on that topic, in knowing you, Doug, do you recommend this program to others?
I think you have to be ready for it. There's certain, you have to, I would say, ask someone who's been in it. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. You need to be serious. This is something that it makes a real commitment on time. I don't want to not even the same sport as Maite, because I know she dedicates Tuesdays and Thursday nights, since
It's a lot of work. Yeah, but yes, it's a lot of work. So me doing it for 12 nights there, yeah. So that's it.
I dedicate every night to
My daughter, like I said, my daughter's 24 and 21, and they're probably closer to leaving than getting there. Let's hope, but and we value our dinners at home.
Yeah.
And
Oh yes.
right, if you look at how many we have going out, 12 is a percentage of those, right? And they were quiet, and there was a plate for Dad when he got done, and so they weren't there, but they were there. That's what I told my daughter when they came in. That's one thing I said. I want to make sure I mention that they're the family.
And the same question: do you believe we need more connection between all of us in our community to make better and greater community in Southern Nevada? Because we're Hispanic, obviously, but always families first. Connection with your kids and be around families and friends. And I believe that's a key for our community. Your opinion on that?
Well, that is one of the reasons why I love the Latin Chamber, and I think more people should understand that it's about building puentes, building bridges with the Latin. It's not about the Latin community, whatever you define that. It's about uplifting everyone. Right? There are people in the Latin community who might want to write Doug Puppel a check, right? And that's great. And how do I get to meet them? Through the Latin Chamber. And then I would like to hope that those people are going to be looking for opportunities in the parts of Las Vegas that I might be more familiar with. And that's how it all works together. It's like we're all a big family, and we live in the one city in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, and also with the casinos and everything.
That's right.
And I truly believe we had at least one citizen for every single country in the whole world. I believe there's no country who has not one resident in Las Vegas.
That's right. Probably other than New York City, this is probably the most diverse city.
And you know what? We should give ourselves more credit that we do, that we have people who, like, if they were still back home, they'd have to be throwing rocks at each other if they saw them on the street, right? But here they live together, they work together, and they do business together, and we're all pulled together. And, and there are so many people here who could live anywhere in the world. And this is where they live, right? And, what goes on that big street is great, but I don't think that's really why they're here. They're here for the opportunities. They're here for the beautiful weather. They're here for the wonderful people. And that's what I want to say.
Let me say 114 is not beautiful yet.
So someday, if it was 80, no, they would afford to live here, right? That's what I said. That's the price that we pay. It's the regular people. If it was like San Diego, then we'd have to pay San Diego prices.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but no, it's a wonderful place to live. My daughters were born here. They want to stay here, and I want to help create different kinds of opportunities for them. And I know that that's something that's in the Chamber's heart too. And Peter's talked about using the 50th anniversary as a catalyst to reaching out to different kinds of business. And I know that Maite wants to be more embracive of the soft skills businesses. And that, I'm just excited wherever I look, and whenever I'm involved with something from the Latin Chamber, I know it's going to be a good experience. That's right.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Peter, because this program wouldn't be possible without Peter. Peter's leadership and his ideas and his vision for the chamber and for this community is really unbelievable. And being able to support a leader like that cares about his community, cares about programs like this, and finding people like you, connecting with people like you. I'm very grateful. I feel very blessed to have connected with a lot of you.
Right. And, Peter Guzman, he gives me a hey and a high five because he knows me. But then, you know what? He gives everybody a hey and a high five. And he is such a great resource for the people who are involved with the chamber.
Yeah.
Right. If he's not the person to talk to, he knows who you need to talk to. And it's usually you. Like,
Or Carlos.
yeah, but no, it's I don't want to sound too smarmy about this, but this, it's your podcast, but man, this is a great organization to be part of. I feel privileged and I talk about it. Well, I do, and I can only see greater things for it because our community is changing.
Yeah.
Yes, we appreciate that. And not finally, but our audience wants to know more about you.
Okay.
What is your trajectory? What you do in Las Vegas? You tell another story, because you have more stories, and old Vegas, the old Vegas. So please tell us a little bit.
I can tell you some new Vegas. I like that. I'm a model for the TNG agency.
Okay.
Usually throw the adjective elite in there, but it's one of our biggest ad agencies. It does work with both of the big casino companies, and I've blessed to be in the Super Bowl pregame, been body double for Richard Harris, the lawyer.
What about his brother who speaks Spanish?
Oh,
Yeah, no, like really, really good Spanish.
good. And I will tell you what you see.
His son, I'm sorry, his son.
What you see in the commercials is real.
Yeah, no,
I see him on TV, but
He does seem like a nice fellow.
okay.
well, we recorded at his house. I'd be smiling. Live there. But I just did a national ad for Olipop, the soda pop.
I drink that.
It's less bad
It's not a commercial, but I do like Olipop.
It's got lower sugar, it's got probiotics, it's got a low environmental impact in the way it's produced. And I was cast to be a featured model in an advertising campaign for fall Thanksgiving, and it was a real honor. And part of it is because I feel that I'm representing the classic model. They call me a classic model, and I represent the classic generation.
Mm.
And it's to show you could contribute at every age. And, and the chamber's a catalyst for that.
That's right. And but tell me another story. Dinos algo.
He's trying to get to
The mob
a deeper story.
area.
I got here when things were in the trial phase, and a lot of the trials were not held in Las Vegas. They were held in Kansas City. So, one thing that, if you follow social media, you see once in a while some people who I think could know better say that things were better in the mob days. But do you think they were better for people who spoke with a Spanish accent back in the mob days? Do you think they were better for women?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
You were in Italian, you were
right?
outside. Yeah.
So it was it's what you can take out of it, right?
Right.
I'm sure there's the glamour and
Right. There's good and bad and everything.
fashion. But man, it was pretty lily white.
Yeah.
And, and to look back and say, there were no opportunities. There were much fewer opportunities for my daughters then than there are today for them. So that's what I look at, right? But certainly made for interesting times.
And now, please look on camera how they can find you. What is your company name? How they can find you? We'll post it on the video, but please let us know.
Sure. Hi, I'm Doug Puppel, Puppel. I've never Googled myself, but my kids have, and they say there's a lot out there. I write for Engineering News Record. I model for the TNG agency. You can find my LinkedIn page and reach out to me there through dougpuppel.com. That's DOUGPUPPEL.com. And I write in a lot of different places, Engineering News Record, and I have a lifestyle and entertainment column, Doug's Neon Diary.
And that will be our podcast today. And we will want to thank you again. Muchas gracias for coming in. And as always, Mike Ted, our Director of Programs of the Latin Chamber of Commerce. My name is Carlos Gomez, and it's another podcast for Latin Chamber of Commerce.
And we do have
Leaders and Actions. Oh, yes.
We do have one more thing to say.
I will say commercial.
The commercial, and it's the most important commercial. We want to thank the Department of Employment Training and Rehabilitation. They are the sponsors for this program, and without them, this would not be possible. And so we are very grateful for their funding and allowing us to work with leaders in the community and give them training and help businesses grow so they can hire more people. So thank you.
No, it is true. And they will notice that we are really digging into the business community because it's important for all of us, Southern Nevada, the Nevada state, of course. But our focus is Southern Nevada.
Yeah.
And thanks for that support because it's much needed, especially in this times, and we appreciate that. And that's it. That's all for today. And thank you. Have a wonderful day.